Good afternoon, everyone. We'll call to order the City of Murfreesboro Board of Zoning Appeals regular meeting for December 21st, 2020. We're still operating under the Governor's executive order allowing some business to be conducted electronically. We have 2 members present of our 5-member board and 2 more joining electronically via Zoom. So in that case, we will have a quorum. The next item on our agenda is a consideration of the minutes from our regular meeting from November 23rd, 2020. Those minutes were provided to the board members. Are there any changes necessary to those? Hearing none, those minutes will stand as approved as written. Next item under new business is a special use permit. It's application Z20034 by Mr. Mark Facunla, requesting a special use permit in order to conduct a home occupation, in this case a beauty shop, at their residence located at 1065 Warrior Drive. The property is located in a residential single-family RS-15 zone. Mr. Ware, if you'd review that application for us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant is requesting a special use permit to conduct a home-based business. The subject property is 2.65 acres in size, and the existing house is roughly 450 feet away from Warrior Drive and is bordered on the north and south by single-family dwellings, zone RS-15. Further north is an apartment complex, zone RM-16. The West Fork Stones River is located directly to the west of the subject property. Property zone RS-15 and Commercial Highway lies east of Warrior Drive. The applicant proposes to convert the existing attached 2-car garage into a beauty salon with a 3 square foot attached sign. The Tennessee Cosmetology Board requires all cosmetology salons to display a sign of sufficient size as to clearly be visible from the street, indicating that it is a shop. The BZA must determine whether or not a sign is appropriate. You can see attachment F for the proposed location of the sign. The existing structure on the property utilizes a septic system. The applicant says, based on her current client list, she anticipates averaging 2 to 4 clients per day from Tuesday through Thursday, and between 3 to 5 clients from Friday to Saturday. There would be no employees besides herself at the business, and the customers would park in the driveway and in the off-street parking area adjacent to the house. The hours of operation will be from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday through Saturday. And I will read to you the 5 standards of general applicability with staff analysis. The first standard is the proposed building or use will not have a substantial or undue adverse effect upon adjacent property, the character of the neighborhood, traffic conditions, parking, utilities, and other matters affecting the public health, safety, and general welfare. Staff analysis for that. If the BZA approves the special use permit, if operated as presented, the staff does not anticipate any such adverse imposition as a result of this home occupation. Traffic should be generated would be minimal, and the home is situated on a larger than average residential lot, a significant distance from the public street. Number 2, the proposed building or use will be constructed, arranged, and operated so as to be compatible with the immediate vicinity and to not interfere with the development and use of adjacent property in accordance with the applicable district regulations. Staff feels that the applicant has proposed to remove the garage doors and replace one of the garage doors with 2 long windows and the other garage door with a French style door for customers to enter and exit the salon. In addition, the applicant intends to use the original color and type of vinyl that is already on the home where needed, and any other wood or fascia needed to match the home. The proposed buildings or use, this is the third. The proposed buildings or use will be served adequately by central public facilities and services such as highways, streets, parking spaces, drainage structures, refuse disposal, fire protection, water and sewers, or that the persons or agencies responsible for the establishment of the proposed use will provide adequately for such services. In general, this standard appears to be met. However, According to the Murfreesboro Water Resources Department, the home utilizes a septic system, as I said earlier. The Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation has stated that the applicant will need to add roughly 30 to 50 feet of field line to operate a home-based beauty salon from the home. Any approval of the special use permit should be made a subject to compliance with all requirements of the state of Tennessee regarding the use of the existing septic tank for the home-based beauty salon. Number 4, the proposed building or use will not result in the destruction, loss, or damage of any feature determined by the BZA to be significant, natural, scenic, or historic importance. Neither staff nor the applicant are aware of any such features associated with this property except for the Stones River, and it will not be impacted by this request. And the last, number 5, the proposed building or use complies with all additional standards imposed on it by a particular provision of this section authorizing such use. The proposed use will comply with additional standards for home-based occupations. If the board approves this request, staff recommends the following condition of approval. Customer visits should be by appointment only. No more than one customer at a time shall visit the home-based business, and there should be no overlapping appointments. Any proposed signage shall comply with the zoning and sign ordinances, should be attached to the home, should not exceed 3 square feet, and shall be subject to any applicable permitting requirements. The business shall only be on Tuesdays through Saturdays, and it shall be open no earlier than 10:30 a.m. and should close no later than 5:30 p.m. The applicant shall obtain all necessary permits with inspections with the City of Murfreesboro's Building and Codes Department for the physical conversion of the garage to the salon. And the applicant shall obtain all required permits and inspections with the state of Tennessee as determined by the state of Tennessee regarding the use of the existing septic tank in conjunction with the home-based business. Evidence of compliance with any applicable requirements from the state must be submitted prior to operation of the home-based business commencing. The applicant, Mr. Facunla, is here to answer any questions you may have, as well as staff.
All right. Thank you. Any questions for staff at this point? Mr. Facunla, anything you'd like to add to the application? If you would mind coming to the podium and you can give us any comments you may have.
I don't have any comments, sir. This business is going to be for my wife. With everything that's happened and the fact that we actually bought the house to move her parents in with us, the reason she wants to do this is she really just wants to be there for her parents. Besides that, we're not looking really to make this like where we're making a lot of money or impact my neighbors. I've talked to them already. They've been around Murfreesboro for a long time. My neighbor closest to the apartment, they're the Mayos. I've talked with them. They don't have any problem. They own Mayo's Paint, and they own several properties here. And then my other neighbors, two to my right, because all 4 of us share a driveway, I've talked with them, and the only caution I got was my neighbor that owns was a Bullseye gun store. He said, there was a lot of things in the business that you have to get, like the electrical, the sewage. I got talked about. We plan on basically investigating, because I didn't know what this all entailed, finding out if it's even feasible for us to actually put 35 feet of line. I have 2 companies coming to give me an estimate. So just so the board knows what's going on is, we would like for it to happen, but we're still researching all the costs that it would take, because some things I just didn't know about. As far as the signage, I know I had talked before, and there's one that's needed at the house, and then I guess there was supposed to be one at the street also. I'm hoping that we don't have to do the one at the street, because I'm really not trying to take away from the look of that road. If y'all go down where you're driving, once you pass the apartment, it looks pretty to the left and right with the lawn, whatever. But the 3x3 sign, so customers know that that's the exact house, I wouldn't mind doing that on the side of the house like I had proposed. Hopefully no bigger than 3x3, and really I'd make it match the house also, so once again it doesn't take away from the overall look of my neighborhood. But that's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant?
So I don't know if it's a question for the applicant, because he's already stated he doesn't want to put a sign near the road. This application, we're not requiring him to put a sign at the road. It's an attached sign to the building, correct?
Right, yes, sir.
Okay.
3 foot square foot sign, no larger than 3 square feet.
Okay. So just so you know, because that was going to be my question to you, but you already answered it, that you don't want to put a sign at the road, and I would not want to see one there either, so.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
At this time, we'll conduct a public hearing. Is there anyone present wishing to speak for or against this application? If you'd come forward, give us any comments you may have. Seeing none, we'll declare the public hearing closed and open the floor for any further discussion. I guess I have one question. One of the conditions was the field line addressing the septic. He says he's going to get the BZA permit. It looks like this is first. What's the order, I guess, that needs to happen with that? Or does that affect what we're doing any?
Chairman Young, what I would say, I think you're covered by that condition. I think that unless he can satisfy the state with regard to a septic tank, then I don't think you really run any risk. You know, what Mr. Ware, in doing his due diligence, researching the application, and finding out that the property was on septic tank, contacted the state and found out what would need to be done in order for them to have this home-based business there. But I think with that condition in place, we really don't run any risk, because they wouldn't be able to move forward unless they satisfy the state's requirements.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Sure. And as far as the sign, I just wanted to clarify, he mentioned 3 by 3. 3 square feet is the most that they would be able to have, and it must be attached. And so the sign at the road itself would not be permitted, period. So what the board can approve is a maximum 3 square foot attached sign, attached meaning attached to the house.
And that satisfies the state cosmetology board or whatever that they're...
I think whether it does or does not, I don't know.
Okay.
They may have some flexibility. Yeah, their house is a long way from the street.
It is.
So
I have driven past there.
I don't know. They may have some flexibility, but for our standpoint, it would have to satisfy that.
Gotcha.
And because we would not allow anything greater than that.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Matthew.
Sure.
Anybody have any further comments or a motion?
Mr. Chairman, before you continue, I just thought I'd pass along something that sounds kind of like what you were getting at. Section 8 of the zoning ordinance, Section 8D3, allows for the approval of a preliminary special use permit with conditions. So it sounds like this may be that type of scenario where it's conditioned on, getting the septic
Yeah, that makes sense.
figured out or something like that. So I think that'd be the proper
Okay.
procedure.
Thank you.
So the preliminary special use permit option would require them to come back for a full special use permit, and we've advertised for the full special use permit today. The preliminary special use permit was not something that we had contemplated today.
But we're going to, if it's approved, we're going to approve a special use permit only upon presentation of the state of Tennessee.
Correct. It would be
being
more
okay.
conditional, and perhaps if you wanted to recess, I could speak with Mr. Hankins some more, and we could discuss momentarily if that would be appropriate.
Sure, that's fine.
I certainly don't want to go against the advice of our counsel, but I'd like to hear more about what
Okay.
he's saying.
Okay. We'll recess for 5 minutes then.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Matthew, I think you've had time to confer with legal to give us some direction here.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman Young. And so I know that researching the issue with the septic tank has been something that Mr. Facunla and Mrs. Facunla have had to do kind of on the fly. I think it was something that they weren't expecting. But in talking with Mr. Hankins, our attorney, what we would feel comfortable with, rather than approving a special use permit and having it hang out there in perpetuity if they decide not to do it, would be to approve it, and if they meet all of the required conditions of approval within 12 months, it stands, and if they do not meet those conditions of approval within 12 months, i.e. if they decide not to move forward, then the approval of the special use permit will lapse. And so I just spoke with Mr. Facunla, and I think he would like to get over this hurdle so that they can move forward with their due diligence and continue, and then move forward. If they decide to move forward, they could do so without having to come back. And I think that's an additional condition that we would feel comfortable. That means that there wouldn't be a special use permit on the property in perpetuity if they decide never to move forward. So that would be an option for you if you choose.
Okay, so
Appreciate that.
just the conditions would need to be met by 1 year from now.
Yeah, we could even say December 31st, 2021 to make it easy to remember.
Right. All right. Thank you, Matthew.
Sure.
This is Julie. So how exactly would that be worded within the conditions of approval, that upon December 31st, 2021, should these aforementioned conditions not be met, the special use permit will automatically lapse?
I think I
How
couldn't have
would
said it
that
any better
work
myself, Ms.
exactly?
King.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah. If I'd have known better, I would have thought you were a lawyer.
Well, I think that just had too much legalese. I don't think that's probably the best way to word it, but
I think, Ms. King, I appreciate you putting that into words. And I think that if y'all were to use that condition, then I could work with Mr. Hankins after the fact and fine tune it. I don't know how I would make it sound any more official than that, but we would try.
it needs to be understandable, not official. I just wanted to make sure I understood too, since I'm far away, and the best way for me to do that is to put it in my own words. But it would be it wouldn't necessarily be all the conditions of approval listed, since some of those are regarding the actual businesses, hours, and use. But as far the things that would be that would be necessarily that would have to be in effect would just be that the necessary permits and inspections with the state of Tennessee and the city of Murfreesboro. Correct?
I think if you wanted to be specific, which I think is generally a good thing when we're talking about conditions, I think probably conditions 3, 5, and 6 would have to be met within the 12-month period.
Thank you. That helps me. Thank you for clarifying.
Sure.
Ms. King, is that a motion?
She put herself
I
on.
did I unmute? I'll move to approve based on the conditions of approval, as well as that additional conditions that if the applicant does not choose to pursue conditions 3, 5, and 6, or should those not be met by December 31st, 2021, the special use permit will automatically lapse. Is that enough? Is that sufficient?
I believe so.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Matthew, would you like to call the roll?
Sure. Ms. Foy?
Aye.
Ms. King?
Aye.
Vice Chairman Halliburton?
Aye.
Chairman Young?
Aye. All right, the ayes have it. That application's been approved. Appreciate your time and working with everyone. The next item on our agenda is staff reports and other business. Matthew, I believe you have.
I do. First, I wanted to say thank you to the board members for meeting all of your continuing education requirements. Our board is fully trained with respect to meeting the minimum requirements from the state of Tennessee. We appreciate that. And you'll be happy to know that 2021 starts in just a couple weeks, so the clock will start ticking once again. Secondly, and probably more important, I wanted to say a word of thanks to a couple of folks that are here at the meeting right now, and some words of congratulations. Ms. Brenda Davis, who has been faithfully doing the minutes of the Board of Zoning Appeals for, 14 years now? Yeah. 14 years, and she has been a fixture here at the BZA meetings, has recently gotten a promotion. She's going to be working in our city manager's office as an assistant to the city manager and the assistant city managers. And so we appreciate her time very much with the planning department. She's been an invaluable member of our team and always willing to help out and chip in. And we know she's going to do a great job in the city manager's office, and we're happy for her and proud for her to take that step, and we're happy that she's going to be just downstairs at City Hall. And also, we're very proud and happy for Mr. Jafar Ware, who recently got a new position in the Community Development Department. So once again, still within the city of Murfreesboro, just in a different department. So we're always happy to keep great talent. Mr. Ware has been with us for almost 2 years, and he's been a planner with us that time. He's grown a lot. He's learned a lot of new things. He's really progressed. You know, over the last year or so, he's been making presentations to the Board of Zoning Appeals and the Planning Commission, and we're going to miss him in our office. He's doing a great job, but we're happy to know that Mr. Sam Huddleston and the other members of the community development team are going to get some much needed help, and we know that he'll thrive in that position. So a round of applause for Ms. Davis and Mr. Ware.
Thank you, Matthew. Congratulations to both of you. Enjoyed working with both of you. Anything else?
Not for me.
All right, we will adjourn. Happy holidays, everyone.